welcome to CoreTV News on the Hour with me, Sabina Izoku. After 1 month-long negotiations facilitated by Chad, Nigeria has agreed a ceasefire with Boko Haram. The deal, according to the Nigerian authorities, would also ensure the release of all 290 schoolgirls abducted more than 6 months ago by the insurgents. Coordinator of the National Information Center, Michael Mary, disclosed this at a news conference in Abuja.
And willingness for peace and to discuss and resolve all associated issues. They also assured that the schoolgirls and all other people in their captivity are alive and well. Already, the terrorists have announced a ceasefire in furtherance of their desire for peace. In this regard, the government of Nigeria has, in similar vein, declared a ceasefire. Finally, this is to assure Nigerians that the greater goal of this process is to ensure the return of normalcy in the land, especially in parts of the country troubled by activities of terrorists. President Jonathan's commitment to peace and security in Nigeria and indeed in all parts of the world has been the driving force of all engagements and measures taken this far on the war against terror since it began in our country.
Nigeria's military authorities have directed troops to comply with the ceasefire deal with the insurgent groups. The Chief of Defense Staff, Alex Bade, says he has already passed on the order to service chiefs. Bade, who made this known at the end of a 3-day coordinated conference of the Nigerian-Cameroon Trans-Border Military Operations, revealed that the deal was cut in Saudi Arabia.
My very good friend from Cameroon and all your members of your delegation. Look, you can interpret. Okay.
Mon cher ami du Cameroun et ses délégations.
I once again want to thank you on behalf of the Armed Forces of Nigeria.
Je vais vous remercier au nom de l'état-major du Nigeria
for accepting to come over to Abuja to come and discuss this all important matter.
Pour avoir accepté de venir à Abuja pour discuter cet sujet vraiment important.
But without any prejudice to the outcome of our 3 days interaction,
mais sans considérer ce qu'on avait déjà discuté dans 3 jours.
And the conclusion of this forum,
et en conclusion,
I wish to inform this audience,
je vais informer tout le monde
that a ceasefire agreement has been concluded between the federal government of Nigeria and Al-Sunnah Lidawa wal Jihad.
Qu'ils ont déjà signé un cessez-feu entre l'armée du Nigeria et je ne sais pas le nom, et le Boko Haram.
I have accordingly directed
et j'ai déjà instruit
the service chiefs to ensure immediate compliance with this development in the field.
Le chef de service de respecter ce qui est déjà signé.
There is, however, still no word from the Boko Haram through the usual source on the ceasefire claims. Police have temporarily taken over the secretariat of the All Progressive Congress in Osun State following the eruption of violence as hell was let loose among the party members. The state chapter of the APC is currently holding its congress to elect new members into the party's executives. Aggrieved party members from Buripe local government area of the state were said to have staged a protest to the party secretariat over the local government's congress results. The protest was later hijacked by hoodlums. Some of the members were said to have been injured in the process and taken to undisclosed hospital for treatment. Police, however, prevented journalists from gaining access to the secretariat. None of the party officials was available for comment, but CoreTV News got through to the party director of publicity and strategy, Kunle Oyatomi, on phone. He said the incident will not affect the ongoing Congress.
They came in to protest. They inclusive of some people in the list, their leaders came to submit. You know, as you are aware, we just had a Congress at the world and local government level. So they came to protest. And in coming in, some hoodlums who are not members of the party and who we didn't know from nowhere, they themselves actually disowned these people. So they came and then began to, create something which the intervention of the police put a check to quickly. And this was done as a result of the fact that before their arrival, we had the policemen on standby in that place. Not because of them, we have been having them around since the Congress started. So we believe that they have freedom to protest because this is democracy. And as a matter of fact, the protest was quickly settled. The differences was quickly
Former Vice
settled.
President Atiku Abubakar has insisted that the Democratic primaries in the All Progressive Congress is the best form of consensus for the party. He said this in response to calls on the social network Twitter for the presidential aspirant in the party to agree on a consensus candidate. According to his Twitter post, calling for a consensus is not necessary because APC is committed to holding free and fair primaries. He added that there is no better consensus than that agreed by delegates who will eventually mobilize the electorate for votes at the next year's elections. Nigeria's main opposition party, the All Progressive Congress, plans to amend its constitution before its convention slated for December. To this end, it is slated an extraordinary convention for October 29th, where the proposed amendments will be tabled for ratification. National Publicity Secretary of the party, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this at a press briefing on the outcome of the IEPC National Executive Council meeting on Friday. He also insisted that the timetable for the already published guidelines for primaries had not changed. Reacting to reports that the APC members were the main campaigners in the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, the party spokesman said the party executive was not aware of that. He argued that the members of the group were free to be sympathetic to the cause, but maintained that the APC is not bankrolling the protest movement to discredit Jonathan's administration. Well, the swearing in of the governor of Ekiti State, Ayofayoshe, PDP-controlled states in the southwest is now 2. Short of the Osun State retained by the APC, election will be due in other states of the region in 2015. The PDP in the southwest is, however, boasting of sweeping the remaining states, including Lagos, from the APC come 2015. Rashid engaged with some PDP stalwarts and followed this report.
Barely 24 hours after the fall of the APC government in Ekiti State, the once ever loyal APC House of Assembly members have started singing new political songs as 6 of them decamped to the PDP, with more said to be expected. Emboldened by this development and the recent defection of Ondo State Governor Olusegun Mimiko to the PDP, bringing PDP-controlled state in the southwest to 2, other PDP stalwarts believe it's their turn to shine in their respective states. Though Osun State election was won by the APC, the PDP is still hopeful of victory at the tribunal.
Court to determine all these things, but obviously I think that there must be a nexus between the two. We hope that justice is done and that the election, is declared as being null and void. That is our position.
With the news of the resignation of Musiliu Obanikoro from the cabinet of President Goodluck Jonathan, Lagos may have also entered into the calculation, going by his comments.
I am very passionate about Lagos. I have profited from Lagos, and I believe strongly that I have a lot to offer Lagos. Housing does not exist for the masses. These are challenges that I believe I can do better for the people of Lagos.
Ogun State PDP is also not left out in what they dubbed the show of strength.
We have a better chance in Ogun State if you follow the trend of things in the last few days. You see that the who is who in Ogun State politics have started coming together and join force with PDP. So with that teaming together, I can assure you that PDP will be the person to beat in Ogun State 2015.
Former Governor Rashidi Ladoja and his deputy at the point of his reign also state their readiness to send APC packing from Oyo State.
Well, when I came, I postulated for secretary. He's my boss, he's my man, he's my everything. Very, very cordial.
The relationship between the two, though, appears cordial at the moment. It is bound to be tested once more as both of them actively prepare for 2015, with Alao Akala planning to fly the flag of the PDP, while Ladoja may contest under a court party. Governor Ajimabi is also surely warming by the corner. So, how will this play out in Oyo come 2015?
My people asked me to come back, and I'm answering their call to come back. You know, when you have a new king and he's not performing, it will remind people of the last king before him. So that's what happened.
It's a game. You leave that one to the electorate. The electorate will decide when the time comes.
Observers are keenly watching the development as the PDP and APC are ably represented in the Southwest politics. The expectation is very and has continued to rise. Rashid for TV News at Doekiti.
The 3-week-old strike that has been embarked upon by Workers' Union in Ekiti State has been suspended. The order for workers to suspend the strike was issued by the chairman of the Joint Negotiating Council, Johnson Oladipupo, as a mark of honor for the new government of Ayodele Fayose.
In the name of comradeship and respect to the mandate given to the incoming governor by entire Ekiti State citizenry, even workers inclusive, and response, not response alone, and due implementation of that demands within a limited time of 1 month.
Suspension, which saw workers resuming en masse at their various duty posts, will only be for a month to enable the government settle down and pay the arrears and salaries owed them.
We did this suspension in order to allow the new government to settle down and study the demands of workers. I'm telling you categorically that 1 month is 1 month. Failure to do that, then is the strike action is suspended, and it may be critical than ordinary suspension and what we've seen before.
It will be recalled that Ekiti workers went on strike on the 2nd of October during the administration of former Governor Kayode Fayemi over non-payment of July and September salaries. When we return, there's more stories for you. Stay with us.
Glad to have you join us on another edition of The Political Arena, the most detailed and incisive political show.
If you are a sitting governor and the opposition is able to stomach structure against you, that means you are wicked to the people. Until the end of our time, I'm the legitimate authority to govern this country.
They gave me 20 minutes to move or they will shoot me.
He has no chance for survival. If he likes himself, this is the best time to get out before he perishes.
The PDP as a ruling party has failed.
So anybody who thinks that government will fold his hands and allow miscreants to take over the streets of Osun State and cause havoc is deceiving himself.
The good, bad, ugly and beautiful sides of the Nigerian political system. Join me every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. on CoreTV News.
Welcome back to the news. Immunity clause enjoyed by the top Nigerian political leaders, especially the president, his vice, and state governors and their deputies, has again come under scrutiny. Speaking against the backdrop of rising corruption on the part of the public office holders, two chieftains of the Yoruba Unity Forum, Anthony Adefuye and Olawale Okuniyi, advocate for the total removal of the immunity clause. They also agreed that the easing the clause out of the Nigerian constitution will gradually pave way for a corruption-free society.
Our major problems in Nigeria today is corruption, and we need to do something urgently to arrest this corruption. And this corruption is from the top. It's from the top. There is no doubt about it. And the immunity clause was protecting corruption, and therefore we decided at the conference to remove this immunity clause. At least people will now have the fear of God and the fear of man when they are doing anything, either in the State House or in Aso Rock, before they do it, because they know that the people are now very, very aware and could take them to court.
If you have a political culture that is developed, you could say remove it. But however, I'm not neither here nor there on this matter. What's essential for me is restructuring Nigeria first. The moment you are able to restructure it for the people to own their country through a people's constitution, all those will not matter. But I think again that we must begin to query some of the pillars sustaining corruption, and that is immunity.
Spoke on the sideline of a recent general meeting of the Yoruba Unity Forum in Ikenne, Ogun State. An Ikeja High Court in Lagos on Friday upheld the ban of the wearing of Muslim headscarves, otherwise called hijab, in public primary and secondary schools in the state. Justice Modupe Oyinbo dismissed the suit instituted against the Lagos State government by two 12-year-old girls under the ages of the Muslim students of Nigerian Lagos State area unit. The state government had banned the use of hijab on the argument that it was not part of the approved school uniforms for pupils. Following the ban, the students filed a suit on May 27, 2013, seeking redress and asking the court to declare the ban as a violation of their rights to freedom of thoughts, religion, and education. In her judgment, Oyinbo held that the prohibition of wearing of the hijab over school uniforms within and outside the premises of public schools was not discriminatory. According to her, the ban does not violate Section 38 and 42 of the 1999 Constitution as claimed by the plaintiffs. The judge says Section 10 of the Constitution made Nigeria a secular state and that Nigeria must maintain neutrality at all times. Reacting to the judgment, the plaintiff's counsel, Gani Adetola Kazim, says his clients will file an appeal against the judgment. Adamawa State Governor James Bala Ingilari has urged the batch D2 teachers who were illegally employed in 2010 by the Post-Primary Schools Management Board to be patient and wait for vacancies before being reabsorbed into the civil service. Explain the circumstances surrounding their employment, the Director, Press and Public Affairs at Adamawa State, Finis Elisha, says the affected teachers, numbering over 2,000, will be considered for employment soon.
The decision of the government is that subject to availability of other gainful employment vacancies in the government service, they could be absorbed at a later date. So the whole essence of this is to inform the public and those teachers to understand the fact that despite the fact that they were, the entire number of 9494 was illegally, given, but because of master-servant vicarious liability, they were looking on to him as an executive secretary and as official of the government, so they would have believed that he was in a position to employ them.
Says the governor is aware of their plight, calling on them to be patient.
Unemployed teachers to exercise patience, because We cannot mortgage the education of these peoples to just government bureaucracy and say, I was given a letter. No. The future of these primary school peoples is very, very important. And there is no way we can get unqualified people to impact knowledge that is not supposed to be impacted, because they themselves are not trained. So how can they train somebody? So that's the position. So I want them to appreciate the position of the government on this particular matter.
Has also called on the people of Adamawa State to support efforts by the present government to move the state forward. We'll return after the break, and there will be more stories for you outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back to the news. Remember, you can also reach us on a social media platform on facebook.com/CoreTV News and on Twitter @CoreTV News NG, and on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, little space and then news. And outside Nigeria, international pledges of deployment and aid for Africa's Ebola-hit regions have not yet had any impact on the epidemic, a major medical charity says. Christopher Stokes of Medicine Sans Frontiers, MSF, said the disease was still out of control. He said it was ridiculous that volunteers working for his charity were bearing the brunt of care in the worst affected countries. The disease has killed about 4,500 people so far, mostly in West Africa. The MSF runs about 700 out of 1,000 beds available in treatment facilities, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. Donors have given almost $400 million to UN agencies and AIDS organizations, following an appeal launched in September for $988 million. Separately, the UN is seeking $1 billion for an Ebola trust fund to provide a flexible source of backup money to contain Ebola. But the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon on Thursday made another urgent appeal, saying the trust fund had received only $100,000 from Colombia, though $20 million has been pledged. And that's it on the news on the hour. Do join up at the top of the hour for more. I am Sabina Izoku, and thank you very much indeed for watching.